Okay, I think that everyone can hear me. So we're going to say welcome to Zambia Night 2022. For those who are kind of new to us, I wanted to briefly just tell a little bit about what we do. And it's pretty much, we've been doing this for 22 years. And we started out helping just about 10 students go to college. It was a teacher's college so that they were becoming teachers. And later we found out, after every time we take a trip to Zambia, there is always another need. And then we found out that high school education was not free in Zambia. So we decided to start helping high school students. And the next time we went on our trip, we found out that there were no teachers in the Bush schools. So now we started to help teachers by paying a salary, a small salary, and the district would send them out into the Bush schools to teach. So we've kind of pretty much have a full circle program where the schools that we started to send a teacher out to, we found that they had never had a student go on to secondary school in that little community before. And now with a teacher there, they started to be able to go on to high school. And we call it our full circle program. So we send a teacher out to the bush and they teach the children there to a point where they can go on to high school. And then if they're able and they get good grades, we help them to go on to college. Now we found another problem, and that was nobody had a job. We're dealing with pretty much in the northern province. It's different than in the southern, where the capital city, Lusaka, is. In the northern province, there's probably maybe only, 89, 90% of people without jobs. They're pretty much just living off the land. So we started a little thing called the micro grant program. And we don't expect these people to pay anything back. We just supply them with some equipment for, but I'm going to let Barb tell a little bit more about that. Okay, mine is just introducing. And also mine is, I wanted to say some of the amazing things that have happened this year for me with the scholarship fund. I reached a point last year where I was overwhelmed. We had grown to the point where we were having so many programs going on and we were taking in a lot more money than I ever thought we would take in, which is wonderful. But I always wanted to be sure that we could keep this idea going of 100% of a person's donation goes to their cause. So if you want to help build a school in Zambia, we wanted 100% of your money to go to that. Or if you want to help a high school student, 100% of your donation goes to your high school student. Well, that's really hard when you need administration and you need fundraising and there's a lot of costs involved. I was a bit overwhelmed, and this year, an amazing, wonderful, brilliant, I really can't take credit for any of these ideas that come or for all the wonderful people who come on board. We are all volunteers. We have a great group of people that work and make this all possible. And I'd really like to invite you to look at our website and look at I believe it's called Our Team page, and you will see each person who is helping out. So what I've done is I've called each thing you're over a committee. So let's say that you're over our adopted teachers, and we have about 45 to 50 teachers now out in the bush that we pay a salary to. So I needed someone to keep track of our teachers and monitor and make sure. So we formed a committee, and we have a committee that's over our micro grants. We have a committee that's over our elementary school teachers, a committee over our high school students, a committee over our college students, a committee over our building of schools. And this year we have finally finished what we were calling the orphanage, but that is not really a term we choose to use. So we're calling our orphanage the Children's Learning Center. And as each of our committee chairs tell you a little bit about their travels in Zambia and their particular committee that they're over, you will learn more. But I just want to say thank you to these great people. Thank you to my school reps. We have, oh gosh, I think 11 high schools, maybe 20 to 30 kids in each high school. We have 4 colleges, at least 50 to 100. It just depends on whether it's a 2-year or a 3-year. We've got a lot of students that we keep track of, and I've got a lot of help. And tonight, I wanted to thank all the great people that make this possible. Thank you so much. We're going to go on with our program now. We love you all. Thank you for joining us. Jim, you're up.
My name is Jim Bowd. Let me know if you can hear me, because we couldn't hear Peggy at first. Okay, sounds like we can. Everyone can hear me. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone. I'm over the Children's Learning Center. I was responsible for coming up with a plan for it and the idea for it and building it. I could not have done this without the financial help from so many donors that generously gave of their means. This is the picture of the front of the building, and I'll ask when we should go to the next picture. But let me tell you a little bit about this. We call it the Children's Learning Center, as Peggy said, rather than an orphanage. We have a 8-foot wall around the complete grounds with concertina wire on top of it, and a large metal fence with spikes on the top of it so no one can break in. So we feel it's a very safe place for the children to be living. We have a great, we can go ahead and show the next picture, which is the back of the building. We had to dig a well, and we built a big tower. You might see that in another picture, but this is on top of the tower where the water tank sits. And the closest building to us is at the front of that building is the girls' dorm, which houses about 25 young women and then a couple of staff members across the hall from them. And then the last part of that building is a one-room schoolhouse, which is able to hold about 40 children. We do have 2 full-time teachers. The middle portion that you can't see really well right now is where the back of the kitchen is. It's the porch area to the kitchen, where most of the cooking's done. We do have an indoor kitchen. And then in the front of the building that you saw at the beginning, we have a large gathering room. We have an office. We have a large nursery. We have several bathrooms there. And we have the inside of the part of the kitchen. Then the last building you see over to the right of the picture is the boys' dorm, and that house is about 25 boys. The boys and girls' dorms are identical to each other. They do have a hallway at the end of them with a staff rooms across in the hallway to make sure that the kids are all tucked in at night, and then their rooms can be locked individually, and the staff member can lock the door so that no one can get out of the rooms, out of the building without knocking on the door if there's a problem at night. That way, no one can break in either. Okay, you can see also part of a garden. We have a large garden. In fact, the garden's been so productive since our staff has taken it over a number of months ago that for the last 4 months we have not had to buy any produce from any store for produce because we're furnishing it all from the garden right now. Let's move on to the next picture. Okay, this is our staff. If we start at the left, the first person there is Clara. Clara is our nursery leader. She's in charge of the younger kids that aren't in school yet. Then the next person moving to her right is Chanda. Chanda is the manager. She is a registered nurse. She's gone through college and has received a degree in nursing, and we thought she would be a perfect fit to be the clinical supervisor and manager for the Children's Learning Center. And she's done a tremendous job. She really, really loves the children and does a great job. The next person, kind of in the center on the top row, is Regina. She is our full-time counselor, and she counsels the children. And I'll tell you a little bit about the background of these children in a minute, but they all came from a very poor orphanage that was breaking all the rules and is being shut down by the government. And none of the kids were going to school. So the oldest children that we were taking was 13, and those children had not been to school. So we're starting them in grade 1 and working up. And most of them are doing quite well. But that's Regina in the middle who counsels them. Then Mary, that has the red, I guess you'd call that a dress on with the black top under it. She's one of our school teachers. Lydia is the next person to her. That is another school teacher. Lydia actually teaches the kids in the nursery and gives them preschool, teaches them their ABCs, the basics of reading and some other things. And she does that along with Clara, our nursery leader. And Mary kind of takes the forefront in the schoolroom and teaches grades 1 through 6 right now. When they get to 6th grade, we're going to send them to public school after that to finish their what we'd call it junior high school, but it's primary school in Africa until you get to high school. On the very end of the top row is our cook, Florence. We hired Florence away from the Thorntree Inn, a place that I and many other staff members or volunteers have been staying when we go to Zambia. And she's cooked professionally for 37 years. She was in the process of retiring, and I gave her an offer she couldn't refuse, and now she's our full-time cook. And I can say that without a doubt, our orphans, children we call them, not orphans, eat better than any other orphanage in all of Zambia. I guarantee that. On the bottom row is Frederick on the left. He can build just about anything. He just finished a nice ping pong table that the kids are playing on now. He's building furniture, and he's teaching Elvis, who's on your right on the bottom row, those things. Elvis takes care of most of the animals that we raise in our poultry house that we have on the grounds. I think we'll be seeing a picture of that. Let's move to the next picture. The next picture is just a picture of the 15 young children that we have now. And we have 5 of their brothers and sisters who are at the other orphanage that were supposed to be here about 6 weeks ago, but haven't come yet. I had a call this week with Tabitha, who is in charge of the social services in the Northern District, and found the reason why they haven't made it there yet. It's all paperwork problems. She has actually been asked by the government to visit other districts, and she's been working out of town for almost the full 6 weeks now. I have been in touch with her, but she has another person assigned to go through all the proceedings, which takes a court order to get these other 5 children there. And she tells me it will happen any day. I've heard that for 2 weeks now, but I do believe it's very close. But the 5 other children we are receiving are 8 years and under. Most of them are 4 and under. All but one will be in the nursery, and they will be joining us soon. And they're all siblings of these 15 children that you can see. We'll move on to the next picture. This is a picture of the nursery, and you can see some of the children in this picture are older. Some of them just wanted to be in the picture, but some of the children who have never been to school are having a very difficult time learning, and so they are in the nursery and learning their ABCs and the basics of reading before we move them on to the primary school that's on the grounds. But this is a table that was built by our employee, Frederick. And you can see it fits quite a few children around it. We have a TV on the wall. We have about 60 learning videos. Well, I'd say more like 80 learning videos that donors sent to me, and I brought over to Zambia. So we show them learning videos also. But there's a chalkboard in this room, and they sleep in this room, and they're having their preschool class in this picture. All right, let's move to the next picture. In the poultry house, we raise a number of things, and I think in the next picture we'll actually see the poultry house. We can move to that. These are rabbits we're raising in the poultry house. Let's keep moving till we get to the poultry house picture. This is the poultry house. In the poultry house, we raise rabbits. We raise egg-laying hens. We have 24. We're receiving an average of about 22 eggs a day right now. And we're raising about 200 broiler chickens. Those are the white chickens that you first saw. We can raise a broiler chicken from a chick that we buy them as chicks for 15 kwacha a piece. That's a little under $1 here in America. And in 6 weeks, we can have them raised to the point where they can be slaughtered and eaten. And what we do is we slaughter what we need, and the extras we sell on the market. We use that money to buy more and to buy feed for them. We're also raising some turkeys, and we build onto it. On the right side, you can see that we built a building onto it, and that is we were raising the rabbits there, but we decided to start raising pigs in that building next month. And the rabbits have a little enclosure. You can't see it from this picture, but it's on the other end of the building. So the children love to gather the eggs and help raise these animals. You can see a few of the trees, but those are mainly decorative fruit trees as part of the playground in front of that. We have a orchard you can't really see. On the very right, you can see a couple trees in the background, but we have about 40 fruit trees, including avocado trees, lemon trees, tangerine, orange, banana trees, papaya trees, passion fruit vines, mango trees, and several other varieties. But we have about 40 trees, and they're doing quite well. Most of them were about 4 inches high when we planted them. The two that you can see in the background appear to be maybe 3 feet high right now. They were planted somewhere between last November 1st and probably January. And they just really sprung up, and they're doing well. I was told by the person I got the avocados from that within 6 years we'll be harvesting at least 70 to 80 avocados from each tree, and within 9 years we'll be getting about 125 avocados from each tree. So we're expecting to provide much of what we eat in the future from the orchard. Let's go on to the next picture. This is again a picture of the 15 children that we have right now. I won't go through all their names with you. I no longer accept donations for construction. We're through constructing. I am adding 3 apartments next year, but I'm not asking for donations for that. The only thing we're asking for is that if someone wants to sponsor a child at the Children's Learning Center, they can go ahead and do that at a cost of $30 a month is what we're asking for someone to sponsor a child. We do have 8 sponsors right now. I believe 9 right now. We have 15 children, and we'll have 20 hopefully within a week. We will tap out at about 50 children. I think we're going to hit 40 children by February or March of next year, and I may slow things down for about 6 months at that stage and see if we're going to take another 10 after that. We'll need, I have the 8 full-time workers there, but we'll need some more workers. Just a few other comments about this Children's Learning Center. It's really turned out to be a great place. When the children first came, they were depressed. We got a group of 13 children on the day after I got on the bus to leave to go back. And 8 of the 13, 6 of the 13 had malaria, and the others all had various sicknesses that were all taken care of by Chanda. 2 of them had to go to the hospital. My time's up, so I'm going to be through in about 10 seconds. But I just, again, want to thank everyone for what they've done to make this a success. All these children are very happy. They're thrilled to be there. They're feeling the love from the staff. And they just really seem to be doing well. We had a few boys that had some problems with fighting, and that problem's been taken care of. They've calmed down. They play soccer on the soccer field on the grounds, and just everything's going great. So thank you, everyone, for all you've done to make this a success. And I'll turn it over to the next person.
Good evening. My name's Cameron Hess. I've known Peggy Rogers since both of us and our spouses were newlyweds and next-door neighbors. As a longtime supporter of Zambia Scholarship Fund, Peggy asked me several years ago to serve as a liaison between ZSF primary school teachers and their sponsors. Peggy has been trying for years to get me to visit Zambia. Even when I finally had more free time after retiring and after the COVID-19 pandemic subsided, I still felt uneasy visiting a foreign country where I don't speak the native language of Bemba, didn't know the location of our schools, and had health issue concerns. I finally agreed to go when I found out that I would be traveling with several other volunteers who had previously visited Zambia, and that I would be paired with ZSF's Zambia director, Tobias Mangani. Here is a photo of Tobias along with other members of ZSF's Zambian Advisory Board. He's in the lower left. Tobias is the key person in Zambia that makes ZSF the success that it is. My fellow travelers were Jim Bowd, Barbara Sims, Sandy Jensen, all of whom had previously journeyed to Zambia. Sandy's grandsons Malik and Keaton also went. I consider the opportunity I had to strengthen my relationship with these wonderful fellow volunteers a major side benefit for my trip. All volunteers traveling to Zambia pay their own expenses, as these trips are not paid for from funds donated by ZSF contributors. We took 3 long flights to arrive in the capital city of Lusaka, Zambia. The next day, we took a 14-hour bus ride on sketchy third world roads to the northern provincial capital city of Kasama. As you might imagine, many things in Zambia are different than in the United States. It is customary there to eat only with one's hands, no utensils. Hands are washed before and after the meal. Also, I discovered that many doorways in Zambia are only 6 feet high. My primary purpose in traveling to Zambia was to meet with the elementary or primary school teachers that ZSF sponsors, then visit some of the bush schools where they teach. Tobias and I spent a very grueling day meeting with and interviewing the vast majority of ZSF's 50 or so primary school teachers. We distributed many of the personal and educational aid gifts that occupied most of the luggage brought by ZSF volunteers. Nearly all of the teachers expressed their profound appreciation for their sponsors whose support enables them to teach the children of rural Zambia while providing the temporal needs of the teachers' immediate and sometimes extended family. I admire the determination and tenacity of these teachers, many of whom teach under very difficult circumstances. It is heartbreaking to hear teachers share their experiences with trying to teach without electricity, indoor plumbing, no clean drinking water, frequently in buildings that are literally falling apart, sometimes without desks or adequate textbooks. Many traveled long distances just to meet with us, and they also do so every time they come to the district office to get paid and replenish their supplies. Despite all the adversity in their lives, they humbly express gratitude for their blessings. Some of the rural or bush schools are built by members of the village using mud bricks they make themselves. These bush schools are usually the ones where ZSF-sponsored teachers work. One such school we visited was Mutima Primary School, where ZSF teacher Xavier Moape is assigned to teach. As you can see, the students sit on logs. This schoolhouse also has several large cracks that threaten the structural stability of the building. The youngest students used to meet beneath a large tree to which was affixed a chalkboard, but now they meet in this hut whose roof is falling apart. This is what the inside of the hut looks like. We also visited ZSF teacher Andrew Changala, who is assigned to teach at Chisali Primary School. Even though Chisali School has 3 buildings and was built using better construction techniques, it is old and not in good shape. The few desks they have are worn, with several broken in half. The rafters in the classrooms are damaged by termites. They're so damaged by termites that it's only a matter of time before the roof collapses, hopefully when no one is inside. We also visited ZSF teacher Prosper Musonda, who is assigned to teach at Chukulu Primary School. After we drove for an hour or two from Kasama, we turned off the main paved road and followed this trail for 20 minutes to arrive at the village of Chukulu. This is one of the nicer looking homes in the village. Prosper Musonda, on the right, posed for a photo with his headmaster, Sam, behind one of their school buildings where you can see a garden the students care for, and also their outhouses. Some schools don't even have outhouses, only a hole in the ground encircled by tall stalks of grass to provide some privacy. Prosper is fortunate to teach at a nice school built by Zambia Scholarship Fund. The school is clean and the students have new desks. Nearly the entire village, including the chief, turned out to welcome us and thank ZSF for their assistance. It is very uncomfortable to be the sole ZSF representative from the United States and to be the recipient of so much appreciation, which is actually intended for the financial supporters of ZSF that make possible all the organization does. In the background, you can see a nearly completed teacher dormitory that ZSF is building. The last teacher I have time to tell you about is Moses Lungo, who reminded me of Snoop Dogg and is almost as tall as I am. He is assigned to teach at Mancha East Primary School. Several visiting ZSF volunteers, members of the Zambian Advisory Board, and school district officials attended a dedication for this new school built by ZSF. The entire village attended and welcomed us with great enthusiasm, singing and dancing. The chief, who was wearing a suit, got down on his hands and knees in the dirt to demonstrate his appreciation to ZSF for their help. Here is a photo of Barbara addressing the large crowd. Her remarks were translated into Bemba by a school district official. Tobias and I also visited several education district headquarters and met with leaders to present a list of ZSF-sponsored teachers whom we recommended be considered for government teaching positions. Quite a few of them were later hired. Because of my trip to Zambia, I am now an eyewitness to the great work that your financial support enables ZSF to accomplish, to provide educational opportunities to the children of rural Zambia. I also saw, that, as Peggy mentioned, that there are many as yet unmet needs. I invite you to join me in continuing to financially support the efforts of Zambia Scholarship Fund to provide highly sought after educational opportunities at these remote schools that are not yet able to be fully funded by the government of Zambia. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. I'm Sandy Jensen. I'm the committee chair for the high school students and liaison to Ituna Secondary School. I want to tell you a little bit about my second trip to Zambia last June. There were 6 of us. And as you can see, we had quite a few suitcases, 14 50-pound suitcases, 6 carry-ons, and 6 backpacks. We had a partial day at a hotel in Lusaka, the capital city of Zambia. I met up with 3 young men who Zambia Scholarship Fund had sponsored in high school. You may remember the story of on our website about how I met Clement and started sponsoring him in the 9th grade. He's the one on my left side. My left side, but the right to you on the screen. His roommate, Nkumbu, is next to him. He's a civil engineering student. Clement's dream of becoming a doctor is being fulfilled at this university. George is on my right. He's studying to be a registered nurse. Here I am with my 2 grandsons and my 3 Zambian grandsons. In Zambia, or in Kasama, every morning we had breakfast together. This was a good way to get to know each other better and talk about our experiences from the day before. The young man sitting next to me is Austin. He was the teacher that I sponsor. After going to church with the teacher, on Sunday, Austin and his wife Farland, who's another teacher, served as a typical Zambian lunch in their house, little house in the bush. You'll notice they don't have a table to eat on. After lunch, there was a soccer game they call football. It was a tournament that was arranged by Austin. He had 8 bush schools compete over a couple of months to determine the 2 top teams. I took medals and a soccer ball for each of the 2 winning teams, and my son-in-law got a soccer organization in Salt Lake City to donate new soccer balls and t-shirts for the 2 teams. A referee organization donated 9 referee shirts. 2 of the 50-pound suitcases were full of 36 soccer balls, enough for each school we sponsored to have a new ball. In addition to the soccer game, we also had a playoff with the girls' netball, like basketball with no net on the ring and no dribbling. All these games are played in a dirt field with weeds, holes, and mounds of dirt. This is the winning team. It was a fun day with at least 200 people there watching. They even had a professional announcer with a mic and speakers. The first week we were there, the high school students were back in school from a break. So we spent Wednesday to Saturday visiting colleges and the orphanages. Monday, we were able to meet with students in high school. This is Kasama Girls Boarding School. As you can see, the kids wear uniforms. The girls have skirts, black flat shoes, white socks, and sometimes a tie like the boys. The girls are very feminine and shy. I love some of the girls' names. This is what Gift says about the Zambia Scholarship Fund. To start with, I feel very much honored to be among the beneficiaries of the Zambia Scholarship Fund. However, my sincere gratitude comes to you for the sympathy you have for vulnerable people, including me. Your positive attitude towards this approach has really shaped and enabled me to work extra hard in achieving all of my aspirations in life. Even buying books, school supplies, their uniforms, and paying for food for school lunch is hard for the families. This is how Given expressed her appreciation to her sponsor. If you had not been supporting me, I don't know how I would have managed to buy all the school requirements such as uniforms, books, school shoes, and money. I'm promising you today that I'm going to do very well in my academic work and make you proud. I don't want all your efforts to be in vain if I was to fail, so I'm going to do all I can to pass my examination with flying colors. Excuse me. Sponsors like you give these children hope. They truly want to better themselves and help those around them to succeed. It gives them a chance that they would not have without your support, especially the young girls who might have ended up in the streets or married at a very young age, like 13. Here's what Bonatti says, that every girl who has the opportunity to go to school feels and believes. Your positive approach to helping vulnerable people has made me to realize that good people still exist in this world. You have been such an inspiration to me and my family, and I hope that one day I will do the same thing and help vulnerable people in society. These young people have so much appreciation for the sponsorship they get from you. It gives them a distinct perception of the world and the people in it. They are a Christian nation, and thank God every day for the help we give them. Naomi wants you to know, without your help, care, and support, maybe right now, as I'm saying this, I would have been in the streets selling beans on my head or become a prostitute or a sex worker. But because of your care and support, I'm in school, learning and studying. My last words, may God bless you and add more years on your life. Thank you very much. I love you all. My favorite girl's name is Patience. This young lady had good insight, and her name matched her personality. She wants you to know, ever since you started sponsoring me, my academic performance has really increased, and I have improved a lot because of this wonderful sponsorship. I have also come to understand that God indeed works through other men here on earth. I have now no need to be anxious for school stuff because you have been rendering these things to me. I want to end with what Cecilia, one of the sponsors in the Zambia Scholarship Fund, to know. I was astonished, excuse me, to find out that kind people like you still exist in this world. You are such a good human being on earth. If all people on this earth can have the heart that you have, the earth might be full of blessings. Next. We made it home safe and no one got COVID. It was a wonderful experience going with my grandsons and great friends. My grandsons are in their 20s and they loved every minute of this experience. They got to work on the yard at the CLC and plant banana trees. They taught the high school boys how to play hacky sack and let all the girls take pictures with them. The students love to meet Americans as sponsors, so if you want a wonderful experience, go over and represent Zambia Scholarship Fund. Thank you.
Hi, this is Barbara Sims, and I'm excited to be here and to be able to share with you. I went to Zambia this time to talk with the people who had got micro grants. Micro grant is just that. It's not something they have to pay back. It is a grant. This is Judith, who received chickens to raise, and she had some difficulties as she wasn't really familiar with how to do that. And with Ivy, the person on my right, who is one of our board members in Zambia, she was my interpreter, and we were able to help resolve some of the problems and then help her move on and have a successful enterprise with her chickens. The next picture is, her name is Kezia, and she had a sewing machine, and she is crippled and has to walk with hand braces to hold her up, but she is quite a seamstress, and she made a skirt and a dress for me and one for Sandy. And we were able to help her move forward, but she is able to help her family, help support her family as she does this. The next picture is Teresa. She was an elderly woman with many children, older children and younger children, again, trying to raise chickens so that she can support her family. We met with each of these people to help find out how they were doing and what we could do to help them. The next picture is Justina and her sister. They are raising chickens and had some difficulties. The one sister knew how to do it, but she had to, because of illness, had to go to another city. And there just were all kinds of challenges to accomplishing the goals that we're trying to help them achieve. But as we met with them, we encouraged them, and it made a difference. The next picture is Christine, and we helped her start this little storefront. She has beans and different things in bags, different foodstuffs in bags that she is able to sell and help raise her family. The next picture is, I can't say it, Isia, and she has a little restaurant. That's one of the tables at her restaurant. And the next picture shows her, this is her kitchen utensils, and she cooks just outside the door, but these are her utensils, and she has a little restaurant where she serves food to the people in the village. The next picture is Esther. She was particularly enterprising. I was so impressed with her. Behind her, you can see her little lean-to that she has built. To the very right, you can see her home where she lives, but this is in her yard, and her little daughter, and she does hair. She sits on those little mats right down at her feet and works all day braiding hair and fixing hair there in her yard. And I asked her what the result of this was, and she says, my kids eat every day now because of this help and her little enterprise. The next picture is a restaurant that I forgot what Hotspot, I think, but this was a family that we helped several years ago with a micro grant start a little restaurant, and they've had different setbacks, but this is their business now, and you can see it is truly the up and coming business that I saw. And I'm so excited to report that we are truly making a difference for these people. The next picture is, this is Annie, and she is raising chickens. You can see those in the background. With the money she is getting, she replenishes and buys new chickens. She's little baby chicks. This is her second batch since she got the supplies to start raising chickens. She is supporting her daughter at a nursing school with the money she is raising from these chickens. I think the next picture is just some of her chickens. And this is her little area in a in a building that she is raising chickens in. The next picture, this is an area in the local trade school where they are making feed, growing their own corn and different elements, and then they're mixing together in that big machine to make chicken feed, and so that they don't have to buy it from a supplier. So they're learning to be more self-sufficient. So the next picture is Ivy. She is my counterpart in the Zambia board in Africa, in Zambia, and she has been such a help to me to be my eyes and ears on the ground and to contact people that we can do surveys and find out how things are going. I'm really excited about this micro grant program. We don't give anyone any money. For approximately $200 a piece, we can get a person started in some sort of a little cottage business that can make truly life or death difference in their life. So I appreciate all of those of you who have helped with the microgrant program. And we had 40 recipients this last March, and we're planning on trying to do about that same number this next March. We're looking for grant money and different things to help support that, but we appreciate all of your effort. And thanks. That's my report.
Good evening. My name's Linda Call. I'm the committee chair over school construction. I have been volunteering as a sponsor with ZSF for over 10 years. So I was sponsoring students and teachers. Never thought about contributing to the construction of schools, but this year Peggy asked me if I would be the committee head over the school buildings. And so I did go to Zambia this year, and I have learned so much about the value of each community having a school building. So I wanted to explain a little bit about what I've learned. We can go to the first slide, but then let's just stay here for a minute. So one of the things that I learned about how important these school buildings are, first of all, when a community doesn't have a quote unquote real school building, it makes the sacrifice of the family to send their children to school greater. They maybe don't have the confidence that there's going to be a quality teacher, that their children will get a quality education. Having a real school building actually really makes a difference in the feeling of the community about the school and about the education. Obviously, students that have to walk a long distance to get to school, that is also a real sacrifice and can be a reason that students don't attend school. You hear about students walking maybe 6 miles to school, and it's just not really a great situation for them to have to do that. Even in communities where there are schools, the teachers often have to run 2 sessions because there's not enough space for all of the students in the community to attend school at the same time. And that means that each student is really only getting a half day of instruction. They miss out on also extracurricular things, extracurricular activities. So it really, even in communities where they have schools, often they don't have enough space. Often they're meeting, as Cam showed us, they're meeting under trees or in condemned buildings. They're sitting on the floor, little first and second graders trying to learn to write on the floor. It's just really a difficult situation. And I realized how what a great long-term asset it is for the community when they have a school building. And it's a sense of pride for the community. I didn't realize when I took over this position how much work the community does. Even when we sponsor a school building, we give them the materials, but labor is provided by the community, and we only work with communities where we have a high confidence that we will have a really strong participation from the members of the community. And so these members you see here, they are already building bricks. We have not yet budgeted for a school building for them. We are hoping that we will be able to provide them materials for a school building next year. But the community is already coming together to build the bricks in preparation. And so with all of these school buildings where we provide the materials, the community makes all of the bricks that are used, and every family in the community, whether they have a school-age child or not, is responsible for creating a certain number of bricks. They build a kiln and they fire these bricks, and these bricks are strong. They're good for a couple hundred years. But it was really great to see how badly these communities want this for their children. Every community we went to, we would have the entire community come out. You saw some of Cam's pictures where the whole community comes out. The head man would speak through an interpreter to us and talk about how desperately they want this for their community, what they need, and how grateful they are for our help and participation. So now I just want to show you a few pictures from the trip so we can kind of go through the pictures. This is a picture of a kiln. So this is a community, they're making the bricks. They built this kiln and now they're firing the bricks. But just to show you how much work really does go into this by the members of the community. And the next slide, this is a school building where we got to see the finished product while we were there. This is where the students were meeting before. If you go to the next slide, this is the school building that ZSF just opened this year. So now they're meeting in this nice new school building. And notice the roof. For these communities, having a metal roof is a really big deal because it's kind of unusual. That's a real school when you have a metal roof like that. If we go to the next picture, this was a community where the school building was in progress while we were there. This is where the children are meeting. You can see in the background bags of sand or cement or whatever. Those are building supplies that they have inside to protect them from the rain. But this is the kind of situation that these children are meeting in. These little kids are crowded together. There's only a few desks in the room, and many of them are sitting on the floor trying to learn to write. So if we go to the next slide, this was another school building. You can see it's not in very good condition. They do have some desks in this building. If we go to the next slide, here's a newly completed building. And this is the one that was under construction while I was there. We can go to the next one. And here's kids at another newly completed building. And the next one again. This community had a school building, but a rainstorm collapsed the building. So when we went to visit, the children were meeting in this collapsed building in the shade in the morning and then moving under a tree for shade in the afternoon. We could go to the next slide. And some of the children were meeting in a school building, in a church. So this church had allowed the students to meet here. You can see how crowded they are, 4 to a desk. And what you see on the ground are the pews for the church. And so the desks and the kids are straddling these pews. I can't imagine what it's like to sit like that all day. We can go to the next slide. And so this is that community. This is the school building that we've started there. And next slide. And this is the last community I wanted to tell you about. This is a church. The pastor and his wife started this church and realized the great need for a school building and school teachers for this community. This teacher that you see here is a volunteer teacher, and he's teaching. They in total maybe teach 40 or 50 children. The pastor and his wife estimate that there's over 1,000 students in the community that need school, but obviously they aren't in a position to be able to handle that many children yet. If we go to the next slide, they also have this room outside where some students are meeting. And then if you go to the next slide, they provide a meal for the students at lunchtime, and that's really been a blessing for these students. This is the cook, and this is the kitchen where she makes lunch for these children on a coal stove. And then the next slide. So this pastor and his wife have bought this land, and the community is helping them clear it, but they are asking for help for materials so that they can build a real school building here. And if we go, I think the next is our video. This is the pastor's wife, and I just think that what she says is so great, and it just shows, it's just a concise story of what I learned about these people and the challenges that they're up against, and the lengths that they're going to try to overcome those challenges.
My name is Lezina. I'm a retired teacher. I teach from preschool up to secondary school. My husband is a pastor at this church here. And from the time we opened the church, I would come with him. I would look at the children that would come in the church and see their state of malnourishment and just the lack of education amongst the young children. So I asked my husband if I could open a community school here, and that's how we started. And I think it's been a worthwhile journey. You see how children are able to transform just before your very eyes, from a malnourished situation to a bubbly, healthy child. I think that has been a plus. The feeding aspect at the school has helped reduce on absenteeism, because children will come to school even when they are not feeling well. The whole reason of coming, they know they're going to have a decent meal at break. And so that has been, in a way, I don't know what I can say, but in Bemba we say something that the children look forward to other than learning is the food. And I mean, who can blame them? So I think that's where we are, and we are hoping to expand. We have a big vision. We're hoping to expand and just be self-reliant and just grow the school. If we can capture many children, I think we'll have done service to mankind, to God, and I think in a way help government. I hope they'll see this as a way of partnering with them. Thank you.
I just love her and her story. And I just want to end by saying, first of all, that I never thought of myself as a building sponsor. That just sounds too expensive. But I realize now that building in Zambia is not the same as building here, even though it is a big expense. You can build a one-room school for maybe $10,000. Most communities need more like 2 rooms, but every little bit helps. And so I just hope, as you're thinking about your donations to Zambia Scholarship Fund, you might think about sponsoring a building if you can. We've had many great sponsors that have helped us build quite a few buildings. I don't know the total number of buildings we've built, but I think it's probably between 15 and 20. We've done quite a few. And the other thing I wanted to say is just, it was difficult, like Cam said, to be constantly thanked and know that it really wasn't me. It was Peggy, it was the sponsors, it was you. But everywhere we went in Kasama, we just met people who tearfully thanked us for all that ZSF does. The school teachers, the students, the students at the school buildings, just everyone was so grateful. So thank you for all that you do.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jackie Johnson, and I'm going to read you a beautiful letter tonight from one of our young ladies who's in the nursing program. I'd like to just say a few things before that. I grew up in Zambia. and my heart is still there. I've lived in America for many years, but I love Zambia very much. I went to primary school in Lusaka at Woodlands Primary, and I'm still in touch with some of the people from my school, because of Facebook. I wore the very same uniform that those sweet young children were wearing as well, and I still have some of my African dresses, those beautiful prints that I've seen on these lovely photographs. It was hard for me not to shed many tears as I saw those beautiful children's faces. I'd like to read this letter to you from a beautiful young lady named Mildred Mumba. And she says, "Dear sponsor, my name is Mildred Mumba, a first-year student at Kasama School of Nursing, studying midwifery. I am the second born child in the family of 3. Coming from a rural setup and a double orphan, I came to know about this program in the year 2020. I tried to apply, but I was not picked until last year when I was successfully awarded the sponsorship. I would like to thank you so much for the opportunity given to me that I didn't think I would ever have in my life. I would like to, you have helped my family and my village as well. On their behalf, I would like to say thank you once again, and may the Almighty God bless and favor you in everything you do. When I complete this course in 3 years' time, I want to study further advance in maternity issues so that I can help fight maternal mortality, which is killing our mothers here in Zambia when giving birth. Yours sincerely, Mildred Mumba." I was, as a child, as a young girl, able to go out. We lived out in the bush, and my mother was a nurse, and I was able to help deliver some of these beautiful babies. So it makes me very happy to know that these young people are training to be midwives, and reading their letters is very, very touching. I spoke Bemba. Mostly, of course, we spoke English, but I did speak quite fluently as a child. I don't think I could do that anymore. But I want you to know you are changing lives by supporting these people. I met Peggy 22 years ago. I'm a school teacher, a retired school teacher, and I was at a education fair, and I saw the notice up, Zambian Scholarship Program. I ran over to the booth, very excited, and immediately signed up as a sponsor. So my children now are all grown, and I have each one of them helping with some students, and they're realizing how important it is that we're able to sponsor these beautiful, beautiful people. And to see these pictures tonight and the lives that have been changed is so touching. Thank you.
I'm going to read a couple of letters from some students. And before I do, I just want to say how wonderful I think this meeting has been, and it has been so inspiring. And thank you to all of you who have traveled to Zambia and shared your experiences. And I think it's very beautiful. And I know that Peggy is really thrilled with all of the things that have been said here tonight. This is a letter from Blessings Sichangwa. And he says, "Dear Lisa, I hope you are doing fine with your job, and I just want to appreciate you for the sponsorship that you have given me, and for this I am glad. As I go on further in my education, I find that it is difficult for my parents to pay my school fees. My father is old and cannot do anything. Same with my mother. I wanted someone who can sponsor me, but I did not find any. My family members did a suggestion of paying the money together just for my school fee, and I felt very bad, for my family was struggling. And for this, some of my family members stopped contributing the money for my school fee. Later on, You started sponsoring me with a kindly heart, and I am so proud of you. May God Almighty bless you and increase your days to live on this world. Now my family is so happy with joy that you have helped me. I even wondered how I am going to be when my family stopped paying my school fees and a bulb inside me was about to go out. But you recharged me, and now I am shining to the people. Thank you. Yours faithfully. Blessings, Sichangwa. And I thought that was really nice how he talked about the bulb inside of him was about to go out, but then he got recharged. It's really cool. Okay. And now I'm going to read one from Joseph Molinga. Dear Sue Francis, I would like to express my gratitude for all the support and effort you have put in ensuring and supporting my secondary school at Mungwi Boys Provincial STEM School, which I think is important to note that me being a math teacher all of my life, that these kids are thinking that STEM is a cool thing, stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. And so they are considering themselves a STEM school. I think that's really cool. In terms of funds, supplies, and all the hard work you have done for me and all the rest of the pupils, for that we say thank you. My name is Joseph Molinga. I am a grade 12 pupil at Mungwi Boys Provincial STEM School and am about to complete my secondary school due to your support. Hence, I am doing all the best I can, producing results which are of the required standard in order to pursue my dreams and ambitions. Furthermore, I am expecting a lot from you, my sponsors, because lately finances have been an issue in terms of groceries and other things, but you've been there for us ever since the start. For this reason, we are working and studying tirelessly to produce the absolute best of results. I think it's significant that he is thanking his sponsor on behalf of himself and the other students that are being sponsored. Because he talks in terms of we being struggling, but now we have groceries, we can make this go. In summary, all I can say is thank you for everything, and God bless you and add more years to your life, because the job you are doing is very kind. All we can say is simply thank you and God bless you. Yours faithfully, Joseph Molinga. And I want to say thank you as well from me and Peggy. And we've been at it for 22 years, and I'm just so grateful and proud of Peggy. Oh, here she is. Okay, talk, Peggy.
Yeah. Actually, I just had to say, aren't all these people amazing? I have been so blessed, and no one can do anything without just great help, great people. And I thank God every day for each one of you guys. And I just need to say, I kind of feel bad because I'm always the recipient of
Praise.
everybody who emails me. They're thanking me and they're thanking me. And because of, technology has also come along a little bit in Zambia. And if they've graduated from college, then they're able to email me. They're able to see our website. I'm starting to hear from all of these people that you're helping, and it's been beautiful. I just heard yesterday from a gentleman, Golden, I don't remember his last name, and he said, you guys have helped me through all of my secondary school and all of my college, and now I'm graduating and I'm going to be a science teacher in the secondary school system.
Wonderful.
And
Amazing.
what I'm trying to say is I'm the one that always gets to hear all the thank yous, and I wish I had time to share all of them with you. I hope you all took time to look at our website and see that really cute he was a little blind man, and his daughter got a job being a nurse, and he was thanking us. And so what we're going to start doing on our website is we're going to start putting all of these success stories and these cute stories and pictures that the Zambians are sharing with us, so that you can see the results of all of your hard work. Like Jackie said, she's been with us for 22 years. I can't even imagine all the students and all of the people that she has been affecting, because a teacher affects so many people. So I know we've kept you a long time. I love our tech people. Attilio, we couldn't do this without our great new secretary, AJ. We can't do the website without you. Please take the time and look at our team page and see all of the beautiful, wonderful people who are making this possible. I love you all. And God willing, we're going to do it for 20 more years.
Thank
we love
you.
you.
Thank
Good
you.
night.